Hello and welcome to Inside Arvada, the official podcast of the city of Arvada. I'm Sean Starr, one of your hosts. Welcome back to 2026. So glad you're tuning in. Great way to start off the year with Layla Diaz, who is talking through Winterfest and our other Arvada festivals for 2026. Layla is an event assistant with the city of Arvada. She's been in her role for the past 2.5 years, supporting the planning of city events from start to finish and focusing a lot of her time on coordinating with our vendors and our volunteers. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Katie Patterson. Hi, Katie.
Hey, Sean. Yeah, it's good to be back. It was a great interview with Layla. She really talked about all that's coming to Winterfest and what's new this year. More performances, more interactive kind of event overall. It just sounds like a really cool, fun time. Hi, Layla. Welcome to Inside Arvada. So start us off. Tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
Yeah, so I'm the events assistant with the city. I work closely with the Arvada Festivals Commission and Adele Burton, who's been on your guys' podcast. And I've been with the city for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show. Adele was about to be our first third-time guest, but we decided to switch things up and have Layla on. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So we have all our 2026 festival event dates set, and we want to kind of walk through those one at a time. Spend a lot of time on Winterfest since it's coming up the soonest here on Saturday, February 28th. This is our annual multicultural celebration in the heart of Old Town there. And I really like what this event has kind of been trending towards over the past couple of years. Tell us more about Winterfest and what attendees can look forward to this year.
Yeah, so the Arvada Festivals Commission has really leaned into the push of having more cultural representation with our performances, as well as like with our vendors that we have. So the Dragon and Lion dancers are always a hit when they're performing, and they bring so much of their crowd in. And we also have some new connections this year with the Colorado African Innovation and Culture Center. So they'll be doing like a live drum performance with crowd interaction. So that'll be great to see. And they'll also have a booth there as well. A couple of other ones, we have Polynesian dancers, folklorico dancing, as well as mariachi. This year we have a new group. They're from MSU Denver, and they go by Los Correcaminos. So that translates to Greater Roadrunner, which I think is fun because their school mascot's a Roadrunner. So that's cool. So creative.
Nice. You went to MSU, right?
Yes,
yeah,
I did go to Metro.
Nice.
Yep, so I'm a forever Roadrunner, as my mom likes to tell me, so
Cute.
It's very fun. But we also have Irish dancers and a Samba Cuban dance instructor there to kind of incorporate the audience.
Yeah, and so a lot of these are just you kind of go and you just watch and enjoy the performance, but a lot of them also are interactive, right? And so we're really trying to make this event an interactive experience. Can you share with maybe some of the performances that are expected to be more interactive?
Yeah, so the Colorado African Innovation and Culture Center has an interactive pieces, folklorico dancing. They'll also be kind of teaching people dance moves during their performance, as well as that Cuban dance instructor. So they'll kind of include the crowd a little more, and then they'll also have people on stage kind of demonstrating those moves.
That's so cool. That'll be such a fun time. So if you want to go to the festival, what should folks know before they go?
Parking. I cannot say this enough. So parking in Old Town is kind of very limited in terms of what's around the square, so that whether that's street parking or even nearby business parking. So I do recommend everyone go to the Old Town Transit Hub. That'll be a safe bet in terms of finding parking.
And just about a block from the square. So pretty accessible there overall.
Yeah, anytime you're heading to Old Town, especially like weekend, just go straight to the hub. Yeah. Like, don't mess around like driving through.
I'm not circling.
Like it's so frustrating.
It'll be like 20 minutes later, and you're like,
should have just parked in the hub in the first place.
Absolutely. Another thing we wanted to mention too is like performance schedule. So we've got the 2 stages, right? We've got the bank stage over there off Grandview, kind of right across from Scrumptious, and then we have the square stage right there in the Old Town Square. And we'll have schedules of which performances are happening at which stages, at which time. So check that out. If there's a certain performance you want to make sure you don't want to miss, reference the website, and so you can go between stages and know ahead of time, so you can kind of plan out your day. We also have, food trucks, craft vendors there. What else is there to do at Winterfest?
We have Life Ice Sculptor back. So this year he'll be doing a horse in spite of the Chinese New Year. So that'll be very fun to see. We also are trying to work on creating a drink passport with all the Old Town businesses around. So whether that's tying in drinks or a specific food bite for attendees to just kind of be immersed in Old Town.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Jean was just on at the end of the year talking about the Old Town drinking stuff that's changed, so you can walk around now with those.
Yeah,
Kind of forgot about already.
Because this is the second year it'll be like in the heart of Old Town Square. It used to be at McElroy Park, which is kind of Old Town, but a little bit to the east of the square. Now it's in the heart of Old Town for the second straight year, which I think went well last year. So we're doing it again this year.
We had way more attendance this past year, and I'm excited.
Super cool.
Yeah.
What about weather? Anything folks should know it's been pretty unseasonably warm, but should that change in the next month?
I guess expect the unexpected, because we might have snow. This year we definitely had more snow than we anticipated, but we do have a snow and weather plan if that happens. So just stay tuned on our city accounts.
Less snow this year than we've had, but last year we had a giant storm right before. But follow our city socials if there's any updates. We try to make the event happen if at all possible, unless we get like a foot or hurricane force winds or something
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, it's a winter festival, so
gotta have some
expect the cold.
exactly. Yeah. All right, so we kind of do seasonal events for the Arvada Festivals Commission. So after Winterfest, we start turning our attention to the legendary Kite Festival. Last year celebrated its 20th anniversary, so we're looking forward to year 21 here coming up on April 12th. That's our biggest event each year out there at Stenger Sports Complex. Got to attend this one if you've by chance listen to this podcast and never been to the Kite Festival. Put it on your calendar now to make sure you attend the Kite Festival. It's just such a unique experience. What can you share with us about this year's Kite Festival? I know, considering it's still several months out, but what can folks look forward to?
So from last year's feedback, we did receive a lot of inquiries about including more food trucks at this event, just because of all the lines that you have to wait in. So we will include more food trucks. We also are trying something new this year, and we're going to do a t-shirt design contest. So more to come on those, but that'll be on our website as well.
Very cool. And we'll hope for the right amount of wind, right?
Yeah.
Like not too much
Exactly.
wind, but not no wind.
No more than 20 mile per hour wind is perfect.
Definitely a sweet spot there,
Yeah.
of like enough but not too much.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And last year I think it was pretty good. I want to say I was there. Maybe that was 2 years ago.
We had around like 10,000 people at
Wow.
our event
Okay.
Yeah.
throughout the day, and it got pretty crazy.
Yeah, awesome.
Knock
It's really
on wood,
cool.
We've had
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
weather, ideal for the past couple of years.
Yes.
So, and go back. We'll link it in our show notes of the history of the Kite Festival. We did a video last year with one of the founding members of the Festival Commission, who kind of tells a story of how the idea grew, and it became a little small event that then grew outsized. A local park and a neighborhood park, and now we're at Stenger. So check that out to learn more about that event. Pretty cool video.
Yeah, it was a very heart-touching video.
Yeah.
I cried every time I watched it.
Yeah, it was so great work by
I was
her.
like, wow, I didn't know this came from such a man, and such a small group of people that just loved the idea.
Yeah.
So.
Great storytelling by our media services team. So,
Very cool.
all right, after Kite Fest.
Yeah, moving into Summerfest, we go from spring to summer, winter to spring to summer. The newest of the festivals, second year. It'll be on June 6th at Ralston Park Edition, which is just there by Arvada West High School. So what can folks expect for Summerfest?
So I know we are kind of a ways from that event, but we do want to really focus on showcasing local bands for this year, and then we're still working on finalizing our music lineup. But with that being said, the identity is still the same as last year. Sticking to a summer kickoff event, celebrating our local organizations and also live music. So still family fun and music focused
Yeah, it was a great first year last year, so I think it can only get better this year. Great lineup of bands last year, so I'm sure we'll get some great acts again.
Yeah. And stay tuned on the pet something.
Pet something.
Pet
Okay,
something.
Nice.
I'm going to throw that out there because I don't want to say contest, but our subcommittee is still working on the ideas of how to incorporate that.
Fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the pet dress-up competition started at Winterfest, but then moved to Summerfest. As
Yep.
we talked earlier, that Winterfest became more of a cultural celebration, so that's where the pet something ended up. So stay tuned. Yeah. We got a couple more events to just briefly touch on here. Festival Commission also does movies around town, and that's Friday nights throughout the summer in different parks. And we don't have the films yet, I don't think, decided.
No, not yet. But I think we'll decide the locations fairly soon, so within the next month.
And yeah, well, those dates starts in July and it goes through October, and you guys do a great job of different themes for each event and something to do before the movie. So just a fun way to kind of spend a summer night there. The Movies Around Town series is always cool. We always do the movie choice poll for the last one too, let folks have their input on what they want shown. And then finally, we also have High Tea for Seniors, which is a really cool event that we do for folks that are 85 and up in our community. Tell us about High Tea for Seniors.
Yeah, so previously High Tea for Seniors was for 90 and up, but with that age, it kind of limits the amount of people that we have in attendance. So we did lower the age this past year to 85 and up, just to include more of that senior community. So this past year we did beach bingo, which was a great hit. Everyone was like loving the theme and design of like wearing funky sunglasses and playing bingo inside and with their family and friends. So we usually include tea, a light lunch, some desserts, and then with some form of entertainment. So with that bingo, we gave out like prizes, like giant crossword puzzle that, seniors can read easily, and then like a shoehorn. So just some fun, quirky things to include.
And that, most of our festivals, or all of them, are free, but High Tea's a little bit unique in that an RSVP is required. So each guest or each attendee can bring one guest, but we do require that RSVP, and so that information will be available on the website if you're interested in attending. So.
And I don't know if we said the date, but that's in August, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Saturday, August 8th.
Yes,
Great.
the 8th. Absolutely.
Great. Well, what else didn't we talk about? What else would you like to mention about our festivals this year?
So we are always looking for volunteers to help out at each of our events. So even if it's just for an hour or two with your friend or family or partner, we'll have the link included for that volunteer sign up on each event page on our website. Or you can sign up also using the sign up to our email list so you can receive updates about our sign up pages.
Absolutely. Great way to contribute to the community.
Yes.
We wouldn't make these events possible without all the volunteer
We need
help.
all our volunteer help.
Yeah.
I just love all the volunteers that come out and help us because they're always like, where do you want me?
Yeah. Great energy. So we got one more segment here. We're going to do some trivia.
Ooh.
So we got 3 questions, festivals, Winterfest related questions.
Okay.
That, one open answer and one multiple choice. So we'll see how it goes. All right. We mentioned, question number 1, we mentioned the dragon and lion dances. That'll be at Winterfest.
Yeah.
Performed each year by the Colorado Asian Cultural Heritage Center, which is always a highlight of Winterfest. What is the difference between the lion dance and the dragon dance?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Is it the amount of people that they have
Yeah.
in the dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is which? Do you know?
The dragon dance has more people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
the lion dance
Nice.
is the 2-person in the one
Yeah.
costume, while the dragon requires multiple performers. I think you
That
like
makes
up to like
sense,
yeah.
9 or so, and both are closely associated with the Chinese New Year celebrations, where they're performed. And the lion is more playful and expressive, while the dragon's flowing movements represent strength, unity, and positive energy for the year ahead. So
That's
Very cool.
that is cool.
Yeah.
I've been like roped into like being a part of those dances, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, overstimulation. But
Yeah.
it's so fun to watch and just see the crowd.
you get the drums going and all
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a highlight if you've never experienced it. So,
Yeah.
All right. Great job.
Thanks.
answering that one.
Woo!
Question
Come on,
Chat.
first.
Question 2. We talked about the Polynesian dancers that'll be at Winterfest as well by the Kamala Polynesian Dancer Company that we've worked with. And so hula is one of the most well-known Polynesian dances. What was hula originally used for? Was it A, entertainment for tourists, B, competitive performances between villages, C, storytelling and preserving history, or D, military training?
See, yeah.
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 That was two.
Yeah. I was like, Lilo and Stitch gave me the answers
Right, there you
for
go.
watching that movie.
Yeah.
Not tourists.
Right, or military, that was pretty out there. So, yeah, before written language, hula in Hawaii was a way to pass down stories about nature, ancestry, and important events through movement and hand gestures.
Nice.
All right, third and final question. We also have Irish dancing at Winterfest.
Yes.
Courtesy of McTaggart Dancing School, I believe. What 1990 stage show helped both Irish dancing to a worldwide audience? Was it Celtic Thunder, Riverdance, Lord of the Dance, or the Chieftains?
River
Dance?
Yeah, a little too easy on this one, I guess. Yeah.
That one I just more or less guessed.
Yeah, I also guessed that
River
one, so
dancing,
we got lucky.
Irish dancing, very connected there. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
performed at first during the 1994 Eurovision Song Contest. Riverdance introduced modern Irish dancing to a global audience and helped spark the renewed interest in Irish dancing, which is similar to tap dancing, but a little
Yeah.
bit different in like the way that their like feet are positioned, I believe. So
Garb, what
Yeah.
you're wearing,
Yeah.
and maybe like the beats. I feel like are.
and I
very
think like the shoes
Celtic.
too are a little
Yeah.
different between
Yeah.
the two. So
Very interesting.
yeah. Well done. Perfect score.
yeah.
3 for 3. I think that's our first one ever.
sure.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now
was
next
good.
time it has to be tougher.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like sometimes too tough, so I swung the other way maybe a little too much. So
It's okay. Easy win. Beginner's luck.
there you go.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Layla. Appreciate you coming on
Yeah,
and
thank you guys for
sharing
having
all
me.
this great
I
info.
loved it.
Yeah.
I was excited.
And before we let you go, we did get a good listener question toward the end of the year when we were recording our last episodes of the year about the city undertaking the comprehensive plan updates this year in 2026. And so that was a great episode idea. And we have penciled that in for later this spring as they get that work underway. They're kind of still in the very early stages of that work. That will be kind of, I think, a 2-year process to update that comprehensive plan. So great idea. Thanks for writing in. And just a reminder to our listeners, if you have other ideas for episodes or other things you'd like to know more about, you can email us at podcast@arvada.org or text us with the link at the top of the show notes. And some upcoming news and events. The Ralston Creek Trail is closed at the underpass at Indiana Street out west. They've narrowed the lanes on Indiana at about 69th Avenue with a temporary crossing with a push to cross there for some stormwater drainage and creek improvement work that's happening near that underpass. That will be a multi-month closure, so just follow the detour signage. It'll take you north into the neighborhood. They're right off of the trail to get across that work zone and help keep everybody safe near the work. And then a new sewer line project starting up on 86th Parkway between Moore to Alkire Street will have 24/7 lane closures on 86th Parkway, and those will kind of move from east to west. Moore Street is just a little bit west of Kipling, and it'll move toward Alkire, and expect both lanes of traffic to still be flowing, but in the kind of north half of the road, there will be single lane closures there. And we'll link to the webpage for that one. And then the sewer line work on Tennyson was completed in late 2025. And then the work on Sheridan, that is near 76th Avenue, should be complete here soon. Hopefully end of January, early February, a little extra work into February to get the trail, Little Dry Creek Trail reopened, but they're getting close. So almost there.
Yeah, lots of infrastructure work going around in the city. Thanks for keeping us updated. The Arvada Reservoir is closed down for the season right now, but is actively recruiting volunteers for the 2026 season. Training is coming up in March, so now is the perfect time to apply. You can learn more about the opportunity and fill out an application at arvadaco.gov/rangers. Jefferson County is looking for volunteers to help complete its census of our unsheltered individuals during its annual point-in-time count, and that's from sundown, January 26th to sundown on January 27th. And we can link to the volunteer sign-up form in the show notes if you're interested in participating in that. And then finally, Jean from the Arvada Visitor Center is always sharing lots of great events happening around the community in her weekly newsletter. And if you haven't, we suggest that you subscribe to that to keep up to date. And we just want to point out maybe one event each episode that folks can look forward to. And so coming up on January 23rd, the Arvada Center has the Junie B. Jones musical. That kicks off again January 23rd. We'll link to that in the show notes, as well as how to subscribe to Jean's newsletter. Thank you again to our guest today, Layla Diaz. Be sure to listen to our next episode with Johnny Hart and Carly Moore from Jefferson County as we do a crossover episode with their podcast, Engage Jeffco. Today's podcast was recorded and edited by Media Services. And today's fun fact is that dragon and lion dances are often performed to celebrate the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year, which begins this year on February 17th. Celebrations usually last up until the Lantern Festival, which lands on March 3rd this year.
Whoa.